Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be just showing you a bit of wiring and patterns used on Western Electric plugs for call directors and card dialers. Really a lot of the sets that use sort of these key rows that had the Amphenol plugs in the back. And I've made this chart here that actually shows you the color codes used, the pin numbers, and what their function is, so that it makes wiring a lot easier. So you can see the pins go from 1 to 25 on this side, 26 to 50. And this is a standard Amphenol plug type. And if you look at the back of the plug, if you look at the back of the plugs, they're almost always printed with numbers on them, unless you have something really cheap. But every plug I've seen usually has numbers on it. And if you look, they'll actually print numbers on there. So there's 1 and 26. It's a bit hard to film with the camera, but they are there. And so this is actually what the plug looks like. And there's a pattern that you can see. When I first got into wiring it on my first phone, which was a card dialer, I mean, their schematics are just chaotic as heck. And most of them have been rescanned and printed, and they're just blurry. They're hard to really make out a color code. This one is actually better than most. The one that I was trying to wire off of the first time for the card dialer, it just showed all of the wires sort of coming down and crisscrossing. It was just really, this doesn't help you much with wiring. So this is a lot easier, because then you can actually see the patterns that basically goes tip, ring, the A lead, then this is the hold wire. Basically all of these with AH, you should leave. So if you're replacing the cable like what I'm doing, AH wires can stay, because those are just wires that basically go from the plug to a common terminal that gets ground from the hold key. So the AH wires you can go ahead and leave. And then you have T1, R1, A lead for the line card, T2, R2, this is the A lead for card 2, so on and so forth. If you're doing a key row in one of the secondary slots, so if it's the second, third, fourth, fifth, so on, then this is T6, R6, whereas the one for the hold key is not really used. Usually for Western Electric sets, these just had a yellow, blue, blue, yellow, and yellow, orange, orange, yellow, but they were just spares, so they had them with spade tip leads, but they weren't really used. So if you're just trying to get the thing to work, these you don't need to do. If you want to be lazy, you could common all of these. These are the lamp grounds, and they're usually common at the key system anyway. The only reason why they're separate is if you're doing long wire runs and you have a ton of phones, then you want to make sure that you don't overload your wires. But there's your lamp ground, lamp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also, you can see I've put the color patterns here for the wires. White, blue, blue, white, white, orange, orange, white. You can see the main color is on this side, and that sort of continues up until here, then it gets a bit wonky. But pretty much through here you can be guaranteed that the primary color is on this side. And so it goes through the lamps. Hold lamp is the green, yellow, yellow, green. These are normally a spade tip again, so these you can usually leave on the plug. Then you have the tip to the telephone set and ring to the telephone set. Usually these wires are fine. Usually all the rest of the wires past the lamps you can leave because they don't usually need replacing unless one of them got broke. But basically there's your master tip and ring. These are the most important that you need to make sure go to your network. These are your output wires. Then this is tip and ring to your chain switch. So basically if you had a funky key row that would let you press a button in it without releasing the one from the first key row, then it could cause an issue with having tip and ring as well as line card ground being bridged to two lines at the same time and basically causing a conference. The main reason why this is a problem is because you could have ringing voltage passed between the two lines that are conferenced. So that's why they had the chaining switch, is so it would cut off tip and ring if more than one button is pressed across different key rows. And this is again your chaining switch for the A lead. So this is the A for the master of the next key row. So this goes to the common AH for the next key row. All these AHs for the next key row go to this one. Then chain switch AH. So this just again gets ground. It's common to all of these. So these are usually connected to one main plate. Here you can see it's labeled A. This is a Northern Electric call director, so it's a bit different, but it's common there to the A terminal. And then this is not normally used, but this is a normally open contact. So these last ones here are only used if you're doing a hold key usually. And so the hold key pretty much only uses these two at the end, 25 and 24. So this is AH. This is your main AH lead that goes and gets common to all of these. So it powers all of them. And then this is the master A lead. This comes from your hook switch. So this comes from the yellow wire of the hook switch usually, I believe, or the brown. It's one of those two. Basically yellow, I'm pretty sure yellow is the common, and I don't know, I'm a bit tired right now. But basically this gets ground from your hook switch. And I could go back and look at schematics if you want for proper connections, but basically the hook switch passes ground to this wire. And so that way when you put the handset down or turn the speakerphone on, it'll give ground through the hold key to all of the lines. And this way when you press the hold key, it interrupts the ground between these 2 points and puts the line on hold. Anyway, hopefully this video helps for anyone who might be wanting to wire a call director from scratch. This is a super helpful page I created, and it's definitely worth the time I put into it, I think, because now wiring is a breeze because I can just easily glance at this and know which wires come next and what their purpose is. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll try and post a link to this in the description, but I'm happy to help anyone who is wanting to wire a call director. So anyway, thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the other videos on my channel.